And we have with us Councilman Stein and Councilman Bedney, and we're glad they're here. And Mr. Lynch, if you could introduce yourself and your colleagues and tell us how your year was and what your budget looks like.
More than happy, Mayor. I have with me on my right is Sharon Wallstrom. She's my Assistant Director of Administration and Finance. Have also David Himes, Solid Waste, Streets and Roads, Emergency Operations, Jenna Smith, Special Projects, Gwen Hopkins, my PIO, Paul Hiltz, who works for Sharon in the finance section, and Chip Knupp in my traffic division. I don't know if Benny Word's come yet. Benny, usually he works on special projects for us, and two that are unable to be here today, but I do want to mention Mark Macy, my chief engineer, and Veronica Frazier, both incapacitated today, but couldn't work without them. Mayor, it's pleasure to be here to represent the Public Works Department and the 367 employees. I am very proud of everything these dedicated employees do every day for the citizens of Nashville. I want to thank you and your staff for the support you've given Public Works over the years. And I want to take a special time to thank my entire management team and all the workers at Public Works for the innovative management techniques that they have put into place over the last few years, which continue to streamline our process and make this a great department and help keep Nashville the greatest city, I think, in the country. Public Works performs a variety of functions every day in this city. The functions vary from overseeing the traffic component involving over 90,000 traffic signs and markings, the 798 traffic signals. One important thing that oftentimes goes unnoticed, we clean downtown every day of the year, 365 days. We oversee a right-of-way permit and inspection approval process. Our solid waste division collects from over 130,000 homes on a weekly basis, and also approximately 86,000 customers a month in curbside recycling. We operate 13 drop-off sites throughout the city, 3 convenience centers. We have 6 public service crews going 6 days a week, cleaning an assortment of areas. And an example, first 6 months, 4,000 workers were sent to us by the courts, and just on the illegal dump sites, cleaned over 2,200 areas. We have a beautification section that I'll rank against any. Just went through Arbor Day. They provide special functions throughout the city. They do right-of-way projects. They also have an environmental education component that the first 6 months this year, we had over 252 programs, 8,000 children, and over 1,100 adults. We oversee a development review process, and we have a very extensive, comprehensive emergency operation plan. We oversee the 311 call center for Metro, and we have a budget of over $71 million plus a capital budget of approximately $50 million and over 60 contracts. And I want to compliment Sharon, Paul Hiltz, Billy Davis, all the managers, because to take and do this work every day and do it in the professional manner in which they do, I think oftentimes gets overlooked. Recently, we took over the oversight of Metro special events. We coordinate that through our beautification office, and I think it's gone very smooth and very successful since I moved over. Right to present, I have Jenna Smith here. She's working with Veronica Frazier and Chip Knupp to coordinate the food truck operation, which we will start to pilot the first week in April downtown. We'll have, starting off, approximately 5 sites dedicated throughout the downtown area. And Jenna and Veronica and the entire staff and Roy Roaring have worked very close with both the food truck operators and the brick and mortar to try to make this a very smooth transition. I think it will be. We also coordinating to bring on board a horticulturist to be able to meet the demands on the executive order dealing with right-of-way landscaping. We're in the interview process, and I think that's going to go very smooth, and look forward to that challenge.
Billy, tell us what that is. What's that person going to do?
Well, they're going to have a multitude of functions. And, people laugh when they talk with me about, okay, who do I report to? It's going to have multiple supervisors per se, but they're going to start off, they'll work with Jenna. They'll work in our development review. So when a company comes in or a contractor wanting to do a project, we'll make sure there is landscaping components involved in it. They also will make sure the species being planted are those that can exist in this environment. They will work very close with Randall Lance and the entire Parks Department on landscaping, and they will deal both on development and public right-of-way. An example, Dedrick Church Street, 12th Avenue South. This person will work with Randall, make sure we got the right species involved. We want to try to work through our capital projects and incorporate a 2-year maintenance plan built in where the first 2 years in the contract, the maintenance of the landscaping takes place, and then our crews and parks
Currently
crews.
don't do that, right?
No, sir.
So that creates a problem with whatever landscaping we do.
Yeah, right now, there's a
Potentially.
lot of landscaping goes on, but there's really no coordinated maintenance program in place. And I've talked with the parks, we've worked close with Randall Lance because he's involved also in the recruitment of this staff member. What I hope to do is be able to bring 4 laborers involved and employ them, assign them to work with parks to coordinate a lot of the right-of-way landscaping that's done, that should be handled by Public Works, but right now we don't have the crews. And at the same time, Parks is moving to incorporate a couple laborers for the additional parks projects. And together, you know, I look at Metro as a metropolitan form, coordinated form of government. This is really an effort by 2 departments and involved different water and all involved to make a true coordinated effort amongst multiple departments for one function. And I think it's going to be something when, in a couple of years, as you take a step back and review how it's gone, I think it's something that could be addressed in many departments in the future on functions where there's similar activities that go on. So we're looking forward to the challenge. Right at the present time, we're working with OEM to move the emergency hotline that presently exists in OEM over to Public Works in our 311 call center. It's been a very smooth transition working with Chief Halford and his staff and Dan Persley, who heads up my IT section, Gwen and David Himes, to transition that over. And once they activate the center, then the 311 calls will come over there, and then we'll split the calls and be able to handle it through our CityWorks tracking system. So that should be something I think is going to be a very positive. And I couldn't go without saying we have 2 other functions, which, and especially one, the most facility we maintain for Metro on County Hospital Road, and we also have brush collection going on throughout the county. This past year has been, I think, a great year in Metro and in Public Works. We have many achievements that a few of the highlights I'd like to point out. One, first and foremost, and that's probably not the first time I've said this, nor will it be the last, but Public Works did receive 2 national awards during the flood response to 10 from the APWA and the American Society of Civil Engineers. 28th Avenue Connector, scheduled for completion September 2012. It will unite, as we all know, parts of West End with North Nashville, creating a better line of traffic from Meharry, TSU, Metro General to HCA, Centennial Medical, and Vanderbilt. It's a complete street project and will feature pedestrian and bike paths. It'll have a new transit service, 4-lane road with turn lanes, and it's really going to be something I know we're all excited to get completed. And I want to personally thank John Greger, the engineer that's overseeing this project. John's done a fantastic job here, making sure the money and the timing is right on schedule. Muse City Bikeway. We just had the grand opening 2 weeks back, 26-mile bike route that led cyclists from Percy Priest Dam to Highway 100, Percy Warner Park. We used existing trails and sidewalks and shared roads by placing new signage, traffic signals, and pavement markings. 3 sections of the bikeway required widening and/or resurfacing to safely accommodate the bicyclists. And this was basically done through federal and energy grant money. $77,000 was local match. So we were able to reach out and get other resources for the financing while at the same time coordinating the work. KVB, or Korean Veterans Boulevard, is a 4-lane median divided roadway from 4th to 8th Avenue South. It's a complete street project featuring sidewalks, bike lanes, transit accommodations. This road will tie in the area already completed from the Korean Veterans Bridge over to 4th Avenue. And one major feature is a roundabout at 8th Avenue South. The roundabout is projected to be approximately 3 times the size of Musica or the one on Demumbrium, and it will feature future installation of public art by the Metro Arts Commission. And when I look at us taking over special events and the food trucks and the various things that Public Works manages, and you have the opportunity to go through the convention center and see everything around it, all I see is future tremendous amount of increase in special events, but something very positive for downtown Nashville. I think it's going to really be something when completed and everything done that's everybody in Nashville is going to be very proud of. 21st Avenue Road and Streetscape Project. It's a streetscape project in Hillsborough Village area and includes sidewalks, curb ramps, and landscape improvements. Harding Place sidewalk and pedestrian enhancement. Phase 1, this is a TDOT grant. Phase 1 is from Nonesville Pike to Tampa Drive, and it will include sidewalks, curb gutter, pedestrian crosswalks, and signals. Second phase is to build 3,000 linear feet of sidewalk from Tampa to Interstate 24. And we plan on starting early 2013 on the construction of this project. Gateway to Heritage. Don Reed, my right-of-way manager, who also is unable to be here today, is heading up this project, and it's a cooperative effort by Tennessee State, Meharry, Jump, and others. Part 1 is a plan to enhance the appearance of the gateway into the Jessamine Street community from I-40 to 28th Avenue North. We are in the process of trying to complete a wayfinding program. We've already completed 155 pedestrian maps throughout downtown and West End, and we'll have 370 motorized oriented signs downtown West End to North Nashville this summer. Ryman Alley. This is an enhancement cleanup project to be completed and hope to have a grand opening in real soon in early May. And it's a cooperative effort by the businesses within the area, NES, the Water Department, and Public Works. And going back to my theory of the metropolitan form of government, it's really where all departments cooperate and get something done that enhances this city. Abbott Martin Sidewalk. New sidewalk at Vailwood to existing sidewalk at Cross Creek Road. And this morning, David Hines and Randy Lovett and myself met with a consultant who was looking at some private lighting to enhance the area. And he was very complimentary of the project and the lighting and the whole thing, saying how proud he was and happy to see it. While this is going on, we have a Jefferson Street intersection improvement at 21st and 28th that will start. It's lighting, sidewalk work. And again, it's a cooperative effort, TSU, MDHA, and Public Works. Saying while this is going on, 60,000 calls to our 6.5 workers in our 311 call center, approximately 8,000 a month. We have over 300 illegally dumped tires disposed, picked up by our crews. 270 traffic signal timing investigations completed. We've repaired over 2165 traffic signs. And we have paved 128 lane miles. We have 47,000 linear feet of sidewalk installed and repaired, and we've cleaned over 607 alleys. You know, when you look at the Public Works Department, I have people who graduate from MIT all the way. Many of them may not have a high school diploma. But to watch the skill level and the cooperation, you know, my job's easy. I got a great staff, and they just get the job done.
Very good, very good. What, in terms of the budget, we asked you to look at a potential 2% reduction. How would you handle that if you were required to do it?
Well, I talked to Mr. Reedland. One thing, Sharon, that I would like to do is continue to work with NES to try to get a better hold on the inventory we have on street lights, and to look, and David and Sharon continue to work to see if there's some advanced technology that could be used to help decrease the bill that we're paying NES. And that's where we were looking to cut. I just feel that it's very important that we maintain as many services as we can, and I know that's your goal. And I think maybe if we can get some cooperation and work with NES and take a look at some of the advanced lighting systems and try some different things, possibly make some savings there.
Find some savings?
Yes.
Okay. And then you've asked for some improvements, and what would those be?
Well, some of the improvements that we put an extra additional brush rotation, which was about $460,000. We understand tight times. I mean, and we understand that, this is a function that right to present, if people really knew the history of it, it really should be in the Urban Service District, not in the GSD, and not you, not previous. About 3 mayors ago, someone blessed Nashville and gave brush to the entire county, but forgot to say who's going to pay for it. And I think I've always said, I think it's a God-given right the citizens think that they're entitled to, but nobody pays for it. And, but to add additional rotation, a fourth one would be around 460. We put some funding to help pay for the horticulturists to get it off the ground. I asked for around $45,000 to hire some young seasonal workers, be able to reach into high school and college, do some grass cutting this summer to assist with that. I always put my ADA, Rich gets kind of my ADA backdoor recycling pickup in, and I understand that's about $96,000. On the food truck, I do want, we're working the pallet. Once July hits, I think then we're going to have a law enforcement legislation adopted so that we can track and make sure everything's done properly. I think people should pay for using the roads and using the sidewalks in case they're damaged. And I would like to see a certain fee attached to it, where part of that fee goes to hire an inspector to be able to help monitor and track this. And I think that can be done with a minimum cost, to no cost to really taxpayer, but actually the users of the roads. Special events, I don't think it's going to be this year. I think next year we may have to look at adding one more inspector to work them once the convention center opens. Yeah. I don't see it this year, but I do think that it will probably be something we'll have to look at. Mayor, we are working with a private sector who is talking to us about possibly building a future convenience center in the southwest part of Nashville. They'll pay. We added the staffing, which was around 4 people. It's not going to come about this budget. It'll be next budget. But if it passes, it goes for the Solid Waste Regional Board tonight. If it passes, one thing I've heard since I've been at Public Works in whatever year I went there is, you got 3, they're all in East Nashville convenience centers or Anderson Lane, but nothing out west or south. We've tried. We never could really get a location that Metro owned and get people to accept. And this is one that's owned by a private entity who's willing to build and build it for us, similar to what we have with Allied Waste in Omaha. And I think next year, if everything goes right tonight, they still have a couple of hoops at TDEC to go through. I think in the next year you'll see a new convenience center. At that time, we'll need at least 2 full-time and some part-time people to work it. But I think it'll be in the following year's budget. Mm-hmm. And then we looked for additional roadway supplies. But, we were kind of looking out to, as I said, the next couple of years. And we know, we understand we can do our job, with what we got.
Well, you guys done a great job. I mean, you've done a great job managing through probably the most difficult financial situation since Metro government was created, and you've done it without really diminishing public services. Everybody would like some more, but I think you've done very, very well, and I think your responses to the 2% reduction and others are very thoughtful and something that sounds reasonable to me. Rich, you got any questions?
I thought we probably should talk about capital a little bit, because there's some big needs in the department capital-wise, so.
Okay.
I don't know, Billy, you want to just
Yeah, I'll go
talk
through it.
about, I think sidewalks, paving, those are kind of the big.
Yeah,
ticket
the
items.
sidewalks, 20
I saw
million.
Councilman Bedney sit up straight when I mentioned the word
Did he wake
sidewalks.
up? Did he wake up?
Well, no, he sat up straight. He was paying attention, but he
Yes,
paid a little better
I
attention.
have Marty Zikis and I have, I think, a 25-page letter, and they're all
they're
good, reasonable
right.
needs that I appreciate the manner in which he went about it and got them. The 20 million on the sidewalks is 73 locations. It will hit 26 districts, and it will have 73 new and around 107 locations repair. One thing everybody needs to understand, and I know y'all understand it, but the community needs to understand, when you put together the sidewalk plan, which came about in 2004 under an agreement ADA and curb ramp ADA compliance, approximately 53% of all money coming into sidewalks is going for repairs. 47% for new. So all the requests for new sidewalks needs to understand when the council and everybody approves the capital plan, you have to separate out the 53% because that's going to be for maintenance parts. The bikeways, we put in $4 million for 18 locations, 9 districts. There's about 20 new miles of bike lanes and shared routes. Paving, we put 20 million. And what the 20 million, we have a paving, Don Reed runs our paving office, and he has put together a plan, a comprehensive plan to keep our roads on an 18-year cycle. And by keeping them on there, you try to do about 278 lane miles a year of paving. This will really be beneficial. I think paving next year is going to be really important to us. Bridges, we put 10 million. This is mainly just 68 bridges located in Davidson County across the 23 districts. We put in for Fifth Avenue of the Arts, 1.4, and that's some work we plan on working in a comprehensive way with the businesses and all, do some revamping of Fifth Avenue. We put in $1 million in case there's a possibility. We've had some requests by taking a look at the entrance of the zoo, see if we can add a turn lane and expedite traffic in that location. $7 million into the traffic signals, of which $5 million goes into new signals, and the balance into the markings and traffic markings that go on. We have a $1 million landfill maintenance that we always put in, and that's really a protection. It's kind of like a life insurance policy in case TDEC or someone comes on us and says that we got an issue in one of the closed landfills, we have the money to maintain it. We got one in that $7.5 million. I would like to speak to it, and that is we had this, over the years, we managers have been talking about a way, how can we do business better while reducing staff? And one thing, we have a facility located around 44th in Charlotte. We own a place, Public Works has a place on South 5th Street, which includes the workhouse, that if the opportunity ever came about to sell the two and us go to our facility on Trinity Lane and build a comprehensive Public Works facility. And my reasoning there is you can put your permit, engineering, administrative office all together. But the key part is you can move all your trucks from west, south 5th, and east together. So if Sharon's operating a vehicle truck and I have a truck, and I'm west, she's east, and I got somebody off, I sometimes have to close that truck now. But if we got our trucks in a similar location, we can cross-mix our staff and get more equipment out on the streets on a daily basis, while at the same time be in very close proximity to downtown, because that's where the bulk, a lot of our business is. It's something that I think in the future it's going to be really good for Public Works, especially when I see South 5th Street. And if anything, with the new water park going on at the stadium, I go back to the convention center and everything and all it booming around there. To me, it's a piece of property that someday Metro may want to sell. It has a little dearness to me because I used to work in that building down the street, but everybody has things dear to them.
You worked in that building.
I did. I worked
Make
in
sure you
it.
emphasize
I
work,
worked
not-
in it. I
that
was
you
not in it.
never-
I
yeah,
worked in it.
yeah, it's-
I worked there too.
I'm not going to make any comments.
So there's a difference. That's what
And,
everybody
but that's
understands.
basically our capital project. We have a couple going on 4% requests this week for roll-off containers that will help replace some of the worn-out roll-offs we got and give us additional to be able to use on these neighborhood cleanups, the convenience centers and drop-off sites that we operate. And also we have the trash containers that will be a part of the area that was annexed about a year ago in the Bellevue section. These are new additional homes and facilities that we'll be picking up from. And then we have a $43,000 computer enhancement for our 311 center.
That's in the 4%
Yeah.
requested. That's this week, next
Yeah.
week.
It's
And-
coming before the council next week.
And we are working right now with, Mark Macy's been working with TDOT and Gaylord and all on the future of McGavick Pike in the area, future water park or snow
Snow
park.
park,
or
water park,
whatever.
got it all. Good, all right. Greg, anything?
I know this one well.
Well, thank you for a very good presentation and actually a lot of thought for both the capital and the operating budget. And again, thank you to everybody in your department. Let them know that the city appreciates how hard they work and how hard they have worked to get us through these difficult budget years. And we'll do the best we can. But there's there's a lot of projects you're working on that we're very excited about. I've talked already today some about the 20th Avenue connector, which I think is just a great thing. And there's so many other deals coming up that I think it's, as you say, it's an exciting time in Nashville. And I think this whole issue where you might need more help for special events in the years ahead is just attributed to the fact that people are figuring it out. There are a lot of special events. There are a lot of things happening. The food trucks. We had the
He loves food
we had the hot
trucks.
chicken out here on Monday. It was
Yes.
very good.
It's located in the corner, I believe.
Right in the corner here,
Yes.
yeah.
And I compliment Chip and Jenna for working with Jim Hester to make that come about.
Yeah, it was very good. All right, well, thank you.